Commissioner Hutchinson,
Present.
Commissioner Grice,
Present.
Commissioner Alsop,
Present.
Commissioner Condi,
Present.
and Commissioner Fighter.
Present.
Thank you. Peoria citizens who have been appointed by the City Council to serve on a commission as their civic responsibility without compensation. Our duty is to study, review, planning and zoning issues with the City of Peoria. The commission hears zoning cases, holds public hearings, and may conduct a study session on topics. Decisions made by the decision or by the commission is forwarded as written recommendations to the City Council, who will then take final action. All hearings are conducted in accordance with the rules and procedures and Robert's Rules of Order. Each case will be called in the order in which it appears on the agenda unless otherwise announced during the meeting. In the interest of maintaining a fair and efficient hearing, the commission adheres to the following steps. Chair will open the case. City staff will then provide a brief report and recommendation. The applicant is then invited to give a presentation. Then any member of the public may provide testimony. The testimony is limited to 3 minutes. When we call your name, please come up to the podium and provide your name and address. After all the testimony has been taken, we will invite the applicant back up to provide any rebuttal or final statements. Finally, we have the commission discussion and decision. Anyone wishing to speak must complete a speaker's request form and hand it to the assistant to my left. Please be as brief as possible and do not repeat statements already made by others. Any member of the public may appeal to the City Council the decision of the Commission regarding a conditional use permit. The appeal must be submitted in writing to the Planning and Community Development Department within 15 calendar days of the date of the Commission's decision. All Commission recommendations on public hearing items, including general plan amendments, rezones, zoning code amendments, and special plans, move forward to a regular City Council meeting. The City Council will then act on the recommendation of the Commission. City Council may concur with the decision, modify it, overturn it, or remand it back to the Commission for further consideration. We welcome citizens' comments, and as fellow citizens of Peoria, we thank you in advance for your participation. This is the final call for speaker requests. Seeing none. First item is the consent agenda. All items listed on a consent agenda are considered to be routine or have been previously reviewed by the Commission, and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a Commission member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered it in normal sequence of the agenda. This evening consent agenda consists of 3 items. Disposition of absence, discussion and possible action to approve, excuse the absences of Commissioners Sean Hutchinson and Joanna Condi from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on October 17th, 2019. 2C, the minutes, discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting held on October 17th, 2019. And finally, 3C, the Washington Event Center, a conditional use permit, CU 19-10, a request to obtain a conditional use permit to allow a wedding and reception center within the existing building at 8291 West Washington Street. Any commissioners have questions, concerns? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay. All right, I'll vote. New business, 4R, project update. Staff will provide an update on ongoing efforts and upcoming projects and events within the city, which include strategic planning, zoning code amendments, process improvements, and scheduled annual events. This item is for discussion only. No action will be taken at this time. And who's up?
That would be me, Mr. Chairman. So this evening's presentation with regard to project updates is more like coming attractions, if you will. It is primarily the city and the department's work plan, along with some items that we wanted you to be aware of. Also, we are working on getting a video for the opening statement, so that's coming soon. So that's one surprise for you this evening. But let's start with, the planning department actually handles a number of functions. We look both and operate on current cases, as you see on a regular basis. In our spare time, just kidding, we also look strategically, and this will be our long-range plans, policies, guidelines that we'll focus on. So starting with strategic planning, there are 2 items. You thought I was done talking general plan, but no, not quite. We are now on the road to voter ratification. So the 2019 major general plan amendments are going to council actually next Tuesday for hopefully approval. Once that happens, we go into next steps and we need to put this onto the ballot. So let's talk next steps. First, staff needs to decide which ballot we need to go to. First one would be in primary, that's August 4th, or the general election, which would be November 3rd. If you thought state regulations with regards to major general plan amendments were extensive, election regulations are quite extensive, as we are all finding. There are specific timeframes that we have to hit in terms of getting this onto the particular ballot. So let me talk about as to what needs to happen. When I presented the 2019 amendments to you, I mentioned that we were continuing the dialogue with stakeholders. We do anticipate some minor cleanups that need to happen as a minor city-initiated amendment prior to putting this on the ballot. Depending on what time frame or what ballot we choose, I will either be in front of you very shortly, if we go in the August timeframe, or a little further after that, if we go into the November timeframe. Basically, the clerk's office and through Maricopa County requires a certain number of days in order for processing. Once we ask council to put it onto the ballot, they need about 135 days before the election. So what does that mean? The last city council meeting that we can ask for an adoption of the plan and placement on the ballot for the primary is March 3rd, and it would be May 19th for the general. Those dates this year have moved up for a variety of reasons, but that means that we will be back in front of you for those cleanups either sooner or later. Once we ask the city council to place the general plan on the ballot, there is a blackout period. We don't want to confuse voters with what's going on, which plan are they adopting with commission and council considering amendments as this is going on. So we impose a blackout period at that point in time. So that is from the date that we ask city council to put it on the ballot until the election is held. Those dates will vary, and we're going to be working very closely with the development community once we have those dates established. After that, it's up to the voters, and so we'll be asking for hopefully a yes vote to adopt the general plan, either in August or either in general. So stay tuned, we'll have more information, but we wanted to give you a highlight that yes, you will be seeing the general plan, just minor cleanups in terms of minor addition, edits to the text, and maybe a land use change, a small one here and there, but that's coming soon. The next one is something that you normally don't hear us talk about. And it is actually one of the documents that we primarily use quite a bit within our development process. We're looking to update the design review manual. And let me give you a little bit of background. Typically, when we're presenting cases in front of commission, you're looking at it at either the general plan or the zoning level. So you've seen this graphic before. You'll see those are the lower 2 tiers. When we have a commercial project, we often have a site plan associated with it, running at the same time if there's a rezoning case. If there is a residential project that goes within a pre-plat. So pre-plat and site plan are kind of synonymous in this graphic. They are out of the entitlement design into preliminary design. So we have more technical details. We're looking at fact-checking with what the land uses are allowed. We do two things. The site plan looks at the building orientation, the number of parking spaces, number of trees, et cetera. The design review manual component looks at aesthetics in that regard. And so it is a two-prong. We use the zoning ordinance and the design review manual to then orient and reshape how the project will occur. So we may make recommendations to move things, or they may need to make recommendations in order to come into compliance with very specific technical requirements. So let me give you a little bit of background with regard to the design review manual. First edition was adopted in 1997. That was a time when the city was experiencing rapid growth, and there were concerns about the impact of the built and natural environment. So this was the city's attempt to kind of bridge those concerns. It was black and white, as you can tell. It actually had a scoring system with it. It applied to site plan review, which was commercial, multifamily situations, and preliminary plats, so any subdivision that you would see over 20 lots. The scoring system was qualitative and quantitative. You needed a minimum score that you needed in certain areas. You also needed to have a minimum overall score. The lessons learned on this particular one is you could have a good score, but the design and the quality wasn't there at the end of the day. There needed to be tweaks. So they modified it. And so it was primarily black and white, not real jazzy or anything of that nature. And then we got into the 2005 edition. This was a very specific targeted update. It only focused on the non-residential section, removing of the scoring in place of standards. And it induced new use-specific standards. And so we'll kind of talk about that. Sometimes you'll hear us refer to big box. Well, we didn't quite get there. We started off with shopping centers, office complexes, and other centers either above 50,000 square feet or 5 acres. We then started focusing on what are the design requirements for gas stations, drive-through facilities that we have. In 2008, this is our actual current design review manual. It was a complete overhaul. There was minor changes to the process, minor changes to applicability. In particular, the number was reduced from 20 lots to 10 lots, so any subdivision now, 10 lots and above, needs to comply with the design review manual. There was a change in format and usability, and basically the scoring system was completely taken out. And it then got into very specific sub-areas, which I'll show you in a minute. And it had new supplemental standards. So 2008, we are at 2019. We believe fundamentally a lot of the design criteria within there are actually still very solid, but it's time to go through and make sure we have the right consistency, right balance, and maybe we need to make adjustments on that particular one. So currently the document is laid out in this format. There's an administrative section. So if we had an impasse on a development project, we would not be coming before Planning and Zoning Commission. That actually is reserved for the Design Review Board. And so that administration section outlines what those criteria would be. We have sections for non-residential. That's anything employment or commercial or retail in nature. We then have our single-family standards, multifamily standards, and then we get into the supplementary standards, which would be our Old Town area. Anything along Lake Pleasant Parkway, we have specific design requirements, and then anything with regard to utility cabinet screening. So you will see a team before you comprised, first would be Jason Cleghorn, or excuse me, Rick Williams, and then it's going to be a plethora of staff because this touches a number of components. But Mr. Williams will be working first with the Design Review Board to look at non-residential standards and Old Town standards. At some point, there will be an overlap with Planning and Zoning Commission, and we will keep you informed of those standards as they are evolving. That is to say, that's not the only thing we're looking at. That's the first step that we're looking at, is the non-residential standards in Old Town. We will be touching each and every section within this particular document. So stay tuned. This is going to be about a year-ish process, 6 months to a year, depending on how quickly we can get through the information. There's a lot to digest when you get into design guidelines, because they have quite an impact on the development community. And so there's going to be a lot of interest in working through and making sure those changes are the right changes. So moving forward, the zoning code amendments, I'm going to go through these in particular. First one is accessory structures. You typically would not hear about these particular items if we had an issue with an accessory structure, which is kind of what you see, the RV garages, ramadas, sheds, garages. If we had an issue with those, we primarily would take it to the Board of Adjustment when we have setback issues. These have an impact within our residential areas in particular. Right now, we have 3 tiers. Depending on the height and the size of the buildings, your setbacks will vary. Those requirements have been in place for quite a bit of time. We believe that we need to streamline those number of tiers, perhaps make it 2, and really look at modernize those standards so that they make sense. This is a difficult topic that we normally have to speak with residents in particular, and we want our standards to be as clear as possible so that they are aware of when they go down to their favorite big box store, there may be a building permit involved, or there may be a setback they need to be aware of, or maybe something else that they weren't sure about. So part of what we're looking to do is streamline the setback standards first, which you will see as the board. And then we will look at it from a design aspect as well, because that component is actually within the design review manual. So it will be a 2-pronged step, and when we are walking through these particular items, we will kind of dovetail that information for you. So this particular text amendment will be Jason Cleghorn and Amanda Beck, who is here this evening. So they are looking at benchmarking across the community, across the valley, to see who does what, and if there's something that's innovative, what can we do to better serve our citizens in this regard. The next one is a solo effort. Solo because the gentleman over to my left this evening has more history on this than I think I know of anywhere in the department. Mr. Cody has had the pleasure to be in front of you for a study session earlier this year. Look for him to be back explaining a very complicated and complex topic in simple terms with regards to group homes. So as you can see on the screen, there's a definition as to what a group home is, possible types that are throughout the city. We will walk through those particulars later on, so look for that coming soon. The next one we've seen back in 2017, but it has evolved. Initially, staff looked to modify standards and requirements for what we call mobile food vendors or food trucks and other such. Legislation has changed in 2018 and 2019 as to what regulations cities and the county can place on food trucks. So in particular, this is a cross-departmental effort to work with our building officials, our code enforcement officials, planning staff, in terms of impacts to the community. So this is an effort that you will be seeing more of towards the first quarter. This will be Mr. Rick Williams and Jennifer Faustino have been working on this for quite a while. We look forward to bringing this to you first quarter, roughly, of next year. So what we are trying to do in this particular item is streamline the process again We're benchmarking across what other cities do. We'll provide that information to you within the packet. So this one has a lot of coordination behind the scenes, which is why it's taken a while to get here. So another one is, this one dovetails with what we're doing in the design review manual. We have non-residential standards within the zoning ordinance. They are fairly extensive. So when we come to you and say a use is permitted subject to the following conditions, that's what we're talking about, is those performance criteria in there. So whether a use is permitted, whether it's conditionally permitted with requirements, or whether it's an accessory or not permitted. We're going to take a look at anything commercial, anything employment, those standards, and modernize them. We have a lot of outdated land use descriptions. I'm thinking, what are our favorite ones? Furrier, yes, and some other, yes, some other, I think video store is still in there as well. So, so it's time to kind of bring that one into this current time period. So we're looking to streamline that process and hopefully reformat it so it's easier for both staff and our development community to find things faster, and hopefully centralize the regulations so that they don't have to be flipping back and forth throughout the entire document. We do have to make a decision. What is a regulatory requirement within the zoning ordinance? What should be a design principle that we need to move into the design review manual? So you may see some shifting of what was an ordinance requirement. We'll cover it in the design review manual and back and forth. So there's some things in there that may be more appropriate within the requirements. So stay tuned. That one is actually going to be a pretty extensive text amendment because it's a fairly sizable chapter that we review. Mr. Gleason has another wonderful one coming for you sometime this year. Small cell sites. These are just an example of some of the options that you see for small cell sites. This text amendment is in response to FCC regulations, so we're going to be making some modifications to our zoning code to come into compliance with those regulations and also to modernize where we can. So last one, I don't have any pictures for this one, but sometimes it's the little things that matter the most. So we're going to come to you with some very strategic cleanups, refinements. These could be ideally one-word changes, department name changes. It could be just formatting issues. The reason why we're looking through, and we could even be adding some process improvements in there, but the reason why we're doing this is to make sure we have consistency with how we review things. We want to clarify things that have been ambiguous. We have some interpretations that we normally will use in daily practice. We need to get those solidified and codified within the text. So we do have some housekeeping that we have to take care of. It doesn't look real, great up there because there's not pictures and, it's going to be a lot of words, but actually sometimes these are the most meaningful updates. So we will have a number of those. We'll try to package them up and come to you in groups. All right, process improvements. This may not necessarily mean much to you, but it does for our residents and citizens and business community. We're looking to modernize our website to make it more user-friendly, make the information easier to get a hold of very quickly. We will look for your feedback as much as possible if you have any suggestions, but please know that we are looking to streamline this particular item and kind of get it out of text heavy into more tech savvy, if you will. So that's one of the particular items we're going to look at. Another one that I am actually very happy, it's going to be very painful to get there, but very happy, is currently the city accepts preliminary applications, our pre-apps, our pre-plats, and our temporary use permits online. We have a lot of other case types that we normally handle that we have to get submitted by paper. We're looking to change that. We want to basically get all of our case types, which would be conditional use permits or sign permits. We have final landscape plans, anything that, the general plan, the zoning cases, all of that, we want to be able to have the development community submit those online. They don't have to come to the counter. All they have to do is call us up, pay for it, and they're already moving through the process. And everything's handled digitally versus having to have a runner come down or spend time with us. Although we like seeing our development community, we'd like to use their time efficiently. So the first three that are up are the conditional use permit applications, the sign permits, and the final landscape plans. We're going to be rolling out more as we go along. They do need to be done fairly quickly, so there's going to be testing involved with that one, and then we'll roll it out, and we'll, on our updated website, hopefully, we'll be announcing those changes as they go along. All right, so the last one this evening is a scheduled event. If you ever wanted to know or to be a planner of the day, you have the opportunity, and I kind of joke about that. So in the planning profession, we have a number of educational opportunities. Those are in the form of the national conference. We also have a state conference. Commissioners are invited to attend. You can hear the same information that planners are hearing in terms of trends within the community. They do have panels of people that would be industry leaders or representatives. They could be from the legal profession, the development community, home builders, planners, et cetera. They usually have a number of topics, and this particular one this year coming up is September 9th through 11th. It is in our backyard. It is at the Wigwam. So to the extent that you would like to see or maybe possibly attend this particular conference, please let either myself or Ms. Della know, and we will see if we can make arrangements for the commissioners to do that. So that is an exciting opportunity. It's in our backyard. It also is a great way to represent the West Side community as well. So more information to come, but just as a preview, I had the opportunity to go to Oro Valley this past one. We talked at length on legislative updates that we have to be aware of, affordable housing, sustainability, placemaking, anything, and other communities were showcasing what is working with them, what wasn't working with them. So it really is a collaborative experience and just a great way to also network kind of outside of the normal thing. So commissioners can kind of gel together if you want, or you can hang out with a bunch of planners.
Sounds like a blast.
Maybe not all the planners, but some of the planners. So that's what I have for this evening's project update.
Great, thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions, comments? Commissioner Assap?
Thank you. I had a question on the small cell sites. I know that is a big thing that's going on around the whole valley. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to make it not try to regulate it more, but streamline it, or what's the goal of that update?
Chairman, Commissioner Alsop, thank you. What we're looking to do with that is a recent, well, I say recent, but a year ago or so, the FCC came out with some new orders as to what communities can and cannot regulate. As a stopgap measure, in order to appropriately address that, we conducted a policy memo that identified the changes that we would be making in order to ensure compliance with that FCC order until such time as we were able to implement a text amendment. So that's why we have it on the radar. Basically, what we're looking to do is make sure that our ordinance standards are compliant with respect to small cell sites, which are more or less a sized down version of the large cell towers that you see. So small cell sites you'll often see in the right-of-way. What we would be looking to regulate with the zoning ordinance change is any small cell facilities on private property. So right-of-way would go through one process, which is more state regulated and conducted through our engineering department, whereas when it's on private property, it would go through the planning department and abide by the zoning ordinance in typical fashion. In this case, as of right now, we're going with the policy memo to ensure that compliance with the FCC standards.
So is that memo public right now?
That's correct. I believe we have it on our website. To be honest, I would have to look for the location, but we can send that out to the commission so that you guys are aware of the changes that we made in order to address those concerns. And we have kind of an analysis and reason behind and reference to the FCC memo with, FCC order within that memo.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Thank you.
Definitely,
thank
I can send out to all of us. Commissioner Hutchinson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just had a quick comment about some of the upcoming projects and how we can address some ongoing issues in the industry today. As you guys have all probably heard about, a lot of the growth that's happening, not just in Peoria, but across the state, the shortage of construction workers to be able to accommodate such growth has been a real issue. It's delayed some major projects, some major openings, and made headlines in recent weeks. I know there's been work done in other municipalities about working with developers and construction groups in promoting the usage of apprenticeship and apprentices on construction projects, so far as to make it even up to stipulations on municipal and infrastructure work through encouraging the use of apprenticeship programs in private development within any given city. I think it bears at least some research into possibly looking at some policy making to govern the use of apprentices in the construction in our community. I know I talk with a lot of the developers when they bring a project before us, and I encourage them to use local labor and local workforce development groups. But this is a kind of a different animal here. The industry itself probably eats its own lunch when it comes to thinking about the future of itself. They think a lot in the present and don't think a lot into the future. And I think as governance and policymakers within the city, I think it bears some interest to look into policies that would encourage that for the city in the future as part of this project. Thanks.
Anybody else? Yep. Good.
Is the existing design review manual, is that on the website? We can download that from there? Okay.
Commissioner Fider, yes, it is. We can send you the link out as well when we're including the FCC or the memo as well. We can send you the link on there.
Anybody else? Well, on my behalf, I would say that the website update will be welcome, because I've been on a couple of years now, and the easiest way for me to find our information is when Della sends the link to me. So I have figured out how to get through it to get to it. So yeah, simplifying that would definitely be appreciated for myself and the general public. And that convention you talked about in September, is that, I know it's a 3-day, or is that something an agenda would be out that we could kind of pick and choose topics, or is that?
Commissioner Olszewski, yes. So in advance of the meeting, we can send out materials if, once they are available. The committee that puts it together, they are formulating right now what each of the panels and discussion items will be. Once that is available, they send out a brochure where you can see what days, what topics, and what rooms.
Cool.
Sometimes you may go, oh, I want to go to that one, but I want to go to that one too. So hopefully you have that angst and that, that concern. So usually there's multiple rooms, multiple topics going on at the same time. They'll have signature events, including the luncheons, keynote speakers as well. If you do want to sit through it, and believe it or not, planners have ethics, and every year we have ethics training that we have to go to, and that's usually 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why, but if you would like to sit through that and hear what we need to know and what we have to do, you're welcome to attend that one. There's legislative updates as well. So there is usually a variety of topics or focus areas, and you have a variety of options to choose from.
Yeah, 3 days would be tough, but it would be nice, especially if there's some gaps in our knowledge, to be able to go and just pick and choose the ones that best fit. That's it for me. Anybody else? All right, well, thank you very much for that report. Planning and Zoning Commission updates and report on current events. Anybody? I can say one current event is Happy Valley is under construction. I'm actually driving that quite often now all of a sudden and realizing that it's really under construction. That's cool. Other than that, I think that's it, guys. We all adjourn. Thank you very much.
If I may,
Oh, sorry.
one more item?
Oh. one more.
Reports from staff, if I can identify the last surprise of the particular evening. You are correct, we do not have a November 21st meeting. We also do not have a December 5th meeting. What we are opting to do is cancel the 2 meetings in December for 1. So I would invite you to December 12th. We'll be sending out more information. This will be a special meeting. We'll have a number of items on that particular meeting. So only one meeting in December, December 12th. And that's all I have.
Okay, now we're adjourned.